So, this is the story of how I solo traveled to Peru, tried to be a hero, and ended up making a complete fool out of myself. And so, anyways, one day I'm just chilling at the hostel, sitting on the couch doing nothing, and a random guy just approaches me out of nowhere. And he goes like, "Yo bro, we're 9 people and we want to go on this 10-day hike. You want to join?" Now, what I would usually hear, for example, when I'm back home, is like, "Yo bro, we're 9 people and we're kinda low on cash, so we need someone we can kidnap so we can extort their family for money. You down?" But when you're in Peru, solo traveling, you just hear a chance for adventure and you're like a golden retriever hearing somebody say the word walk. You're like, did anybody say walk? 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 And so I join the group and I meet the guide. He explains that we need to pay in advance, in cash, so that he can go out right now and buy everything that we need for the trip. And then we can even go tomorrow. Now, everybody checks if they have enough cash, and they do, except for me and another guy. So we decide to find out where the closest one is, and we're quite relieved to find out that it is not too far. And so we get there, and our relief very soon turns into disbelief, because it is absolutely packed. And I mean packed. That line must have had like 60, probably even like 70, 80 people just waiting in line to use those 2 ATMs. Now, we're pretty shocked, but we don't want to cut in line. We're just tourists in a foreign country, and we don't know how it works. We don't know if we'll try to cut in line. And suddenly, out of the shadows, Peruvian FBI will step out and be like, "Ha ha, we got you now. You didn't know, but in Peru, it is the worst crime ever to cut in line. And now we're gonna catch you and send you to Peruvian prison for 20 years. Come here." And I can't run away from Peruvian FBI. In this altitude, when you're not accustomed to it yet, it feels like you're moving in jello. It would be like a cheetah trying to chase after a rock. It would be over within 10 seconds with me on the ground trying to catch my breath and the police dude just standing there all disappointed like, "Come on man, I thought you could at least do a little bit better than that." Anyways, that's why we decide to just wait in line. And it probably takes about 45 minutes till we get to the front of the line. And by then, we are dying to get out of there. And we're just talking about life when a random lady just cuts everybody in line and stands right next to us. Now, I immediately understand her intention and I wait for somebody to be like, "Hey lady, there's a line here, go back." But no one ends up saying anything. So I just say to my friend, "Nope. No way. There's no way I'm gonna let her cut in line like that after we waited here for 45 minutes. And you know what? This is not just for me. No, this is not just for me. This is for the people of this line. If they won't say anything, I will stand up for them. I will be the one, the hero, to stand up and say, 'No, lady, this is unacceptable. You can't do that.'" And as this is going through my mind, an ATM becomes free and she just sprints to it. And then I just say loudly, "Disculpa," which means excuse me in Spanish, which is pretty polite for the situation. But anyways, she completely ignores me. And then I go a bit louder and I go, "Disculpa." And she pretends like I don't even exist. Now, I look around a little bit and I realize that everybody's staring at me. And I also realize that at this moment I have two choices. One is I back out and look like a total dummy. And two, I be the hero I am, in my mind, yeah? Stand up for everybody and save the day. So at this moment, I go all in. And I go again and again and again. "Disculpa, disculpa, disculpa." And when she continues to ignore me completely, I, without even noticing, get a bit closer and closer to her with each time. And I end up being right next to her. And I must have said disculpa at this point like 20 or 30 times. And finally, she glances over in my direction and says nothing. And kind of just waits for me to say what I have to say. And I want more than anything in the world at this moment to tell her, lady, this is unacceptable. There's a bunch of people waiting in line, and your time is not any more important than theirs, and this is super rude. So stop it, go to the back of the line, and wait like everybody else. But it is also this moment that I realize, to my embarrassment, that I don't know a single word in Spanish. Actually, I do know one single word in Spanish, and I've already used it. It's disculpa. So what I end up saying is nothing. What I end up doing is producing a series of sounds that sound basically like that. Eh, 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 and I suddenly realized that I'm in way over my head and that I have absolutely no way to express myself coherently. And I look at the people like, come on guys, maybe help me out here a little bit. And they look back at me like, listen bro, sorry, but we want nothing to do with this situation. And the lady realizes that she has all the power now. And she turns back to the ATM, finishes drawing her money, puts it in her purse, takes the receipt, glances over at me, waves it in my face, turns away, and leaves. So yeah, that's the story. And let me tell you something. As embarrassing as that was for me, when I got back to the group and told them what had happened, they thought it was the funniest thing they've ever heard. And after that, they fully accepted me into the group, which made the hike that came afterwards an even crazier and more epic experience than it would have been otherwise. But that's a story for a whole other time. So until then, ciao.